Welcome to the Neverworld Podcast, where together we explore the strange and unusual. Every journey starts with the first step into the unknown. No, don't chew on the chair. Don't chew on the chair.
Yeah. Telling a puppy don't chew. Dave, how many dogs have you owned?
She's chewing on the chair.
That is her chair now. It
belongs
to her.
She's got bones. She's got toys.
The chair is more chewy.
You know the thing that you click until your chair goes up or down? That's what she's chewing on. It's like, okay, folks, I just got a new puppy. Her name is Luna. Luna Lovegood. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I can't help it. I love Harry Potter.
And dogs.
And the dog. Look at the silly dog. If she's looking up, I don't know. You can't really
Luna.
see. Luna.
Nope. She's not going
to look up. She's looking around everywhere. But
she's camera shy.
That's
she just made her first podcast appearance.
And as soon as I take the camera and put it back, she starts chewing on the chair again.
Of course. So, hey,
my
folks.
hand going like this. It's, something else. Sorry, folks.
We're back. Welcome to Neverworld Podcast. Dave just got a new member of the family, and she is precious. So if Dave starts going up and down, it's because somebody's messing with his chair. And it's not aliens. Okay. So, but what might be aliens is The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 4, Episode 10. I watched it this morning, and I'm just going to say, holy shit.
Finally,
I've been waiting 4 seasons to see something that really pointed in this direction. And dude. So they drilled.
Yeah.
And the drill stopped. And I'm like, because you're using a lawnmower engine and you've been running it for a month straight. Of course it stopped. It died. You ran it into the ground. Stop acting shocked like the Mesa did something.
That's
ridiculous.
There is that. But the thing that I thought was actually funny was after a full solid month, they've only dug 25 foot.
Yeah.
They only went 25 foot down. And that's through, what the hell is that? Like sandstone, right? It's mostly sandstone. That should be nothing. That drill should have been able to get 30 or 40 feet within a couple of days.
I would have thought.
But like you said, after a month of running that thing, you don't know whether they did service to it like they're supposed to. I don't know.
Even then, it's probably that's not designed to run like that. I guarantee it. If you're going to drill like that, you need that, like the guy that came before and was going in and kept stopping.
Important thing. You need a stand with a tower. And like you're drilling for oil. That's what
absolutely. And Brandon's got the money. You know he does. So I was like, come on now.
Now I didn't miss real quick. I have a question for you before you go on.
Yeah.
I didn't miss them talking about the LiDAR that they did last week. Did I? The balloon going up. They talked a little bit about the balloon, but I didn't see anything.
They just mentioned, they still have not shown what that LiDAR picked up. You did not miss that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't sneeze, turn my head, and they were like, well, we didn't find nothing.
I'm going to make a prediction. We never hear about that again.
You think? You don't think you'll hear about it in the last episode?
I don't think they're even going to mention it again. They're already predicting everybody forgot, I'm sure. I'm betting they're not going to. And there goes my brain. They found something. Because they got other data, they've had to have had something. So, I don't know. I bet we don't see anything on that. But we've really been shitting all over this season because it has been disappointing. It has been slow. It's been like filler episode after filler episode, and just very little to go on. It didn't feel like it had the sense of discovery that the first 3 episodes had.
Right. The first 3 series, you mean?
I mean, first 3 series. First 3 seasons.
I wanted to make sure. I was like, what the hell did I miss in this?
Let me tell you about those first 3 episodes. I took a nap, and then I took a nap. But it's good to see something paying off. And they are really hitting these experiments. And this time, I really thought it was cool that they decided to just hit the triangle with everything, with sound frequencies. And what was it Travis always brings to the table?
Got a rocket. Brought a rocket.
He brought a rocket.
And now he's using mortars. So he's blowing shit up as he's shooting the rockets. So
yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
It was. So, but this time what they found is a frequency that tended to resonate. They could feel it, and it was showing up on their monitors and everything. So this is where I think they did this right. They decided to pull science aside just a little bit, and bring in something a little more mystical with some native drummers who would drum at that same frequency and see what happened. And Dave, tell our listeners what happened.
That was really cool because all the guys that were in this Native American drum group were all from different tribes, but they all the tribes had the same. It seemed like they said they had a lot of the same basic stories, so their songs were all very similar. So what they would do is they would sing the songs that you would get whenever you were praying to the spirit or you were, asking for a blessing. Or I'm sorry, I'm only vaguely familiar with Native American religions in general, so I'm not sure what they call it. So I'm going to call it praying because that's what I'm familiar with. So they've got the big drum, that big bass drum, and I think there's like 5 or 6 guys sitting in a circle. And initially, they're off in the back. They're behind these guys. They're filming them at night. No, was it that night the first time?
They started during the day, but then they went at night. And at night is when we got some interesting results.
Yeah, at night was really the big stuff. They're filming them with the heat-sensitive cameras and all that. And when they start drumming and they start the song, remember how folks, go back to the first episode, go back to last season, I was saying they need to be on the top of that damn mesa where that circle is at, for the religious ground is at, where that smaller door
There's a reason that's there.
Is at. These guys are drumming, and guess what heats up and just shows up on their heat register? That spot on the top of the mesa. I'm like, why isn't there somebody already up there with instruments measuring this other than where you guys are at? I bet you $5, I would bet $100 million if I had it that somebody was up there. They had to have had somebody or something set up there. It'd be stupid not to after everything they've learned. Yeah. But that aside, they're like, okay, that was with the drums and the music. Let's see if we can do it with just the drums.
Yeah, no singing.
No singing. So they do the drums, and sure as shit, the light starts to shine again. But with just the drums, something else happens. Scott, take it away from there.
Wow. Now this is what was absolutely wild. Now some other spots start lighting up around them, smaller little spots. And the drummers start to hear people or the sound of footsteps creeping, slowly moving. And then they start seeing shadow figures.
Like somebody sneaking.
So they went and investigated. Of course, there was nothing. But this... I think this is the closest they've come, or they actually really did it, to opening a portal, because I think it was 6 seconds after this, a UAP came across the sky at such a high rate of speed that only that 2,000 frame a second camera could capture it. And it's like, holy cow.
That was the light at night. Yeah, that was crazy.
That just went flying by really fast. But there's also another thing that happened after all of this. When they got the data back, they actually recorded going into the mesa 2 like light orbs just rapidly going into the back of the mesa.
Big light, big orbs that nobody saw. The camera, I think the camera picked it up, but they didn't see it until
they went frame by frame.
They reviewed it, right? They were going frame by frame. And that goes back to, I think, first season when they mentioned people saying they saw spaceships
flying into the mesa.
For lack of a better term, I'm going to call them spaceships flying into the mesa. and coming out of the mesa. Well, these two orbs, these two
they
bright
just saw it.
lights went into the mesa.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes.
Not on the exact same trajectory. It was almost like they were following in.
It was like one was following the other. It came like right behind it. Yeah.
Right, one right after the other. It was fantastic. That was nice to see. This is the first episode in probably the last 4 or 5 that have really excited me. And I was like,
dude, I know.
Finally, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been waiting for that. When they shot
the rocket. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, earlier in the episode, they shoot the rockets and they're like, well, what was it? They heard something or they thought they felt something, but they weren't sure. And then when they went back and looked at the film, that was another moment where they're looking at the 2,000 frames per second. And they're like, look at this. It's right here. You can see it. Nobody saw it when they were out there. They're looking up. They didn't see it because the damn thing was moving so fast.
Yeah.
I think they said it was moving at 3,600 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is like right after they did that thing came flying across at 3,500 miles an hour or something like that Travis calculated. And here's what's interesting, because my first thought was no sonic boom. It's a frictionless aircraft or spacecraft. And
you wouldn't have one. You probably wouldn't have one.
You wouldn't hear it. You wouldn't hear nothing. So
no, that's what was interesting. So Dragon, right on, brother.
Yeah,
and once again, Dragon and Thomas seem to be the smartest 2 guys in the room.
Yes, they are.
Once again, they're saying something that's just all common sense. And I think it was the drummers Thomas's or Dragon's idea. I think it was one of their ideas.
I'm not sure, but yeah,
I thought it was a great idea
that they did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of those guys' ideas. Like, hey, I know of this group that does this thing, and it's like, okay, let's do that then. It's at this point, it's like, take the shit and throw it at the wall, see what sticks. Let's go.
Well, I've been that way for a while, but I appreciate the fact that they've been able to find some local Native American tribes, people within those who will come and speak. So that's starting to lessen that stigma of that. So they're able to get some more. But what was really cool is this starts to collaborate with their folklore of the Skinwalkers.
Yeah.
And
a lot.
Yeah, so it's, and that's the thing with a lot of stories of legends and myths and everything. There's a bit of truth in every damn one of them, because they didn't just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
something happened somewhere, sometime, and I still fall back on, would I find a Skinwalker terrifying if I bumped into one? Abso-freaking-lutely. I would probably poop my pants and cry like a little girl with a skinned knee. That's honest to God truth. Because I wouldn't know what to expect. But in the back of my head, I keep thinking, and I was looking the other day through something, looking for just anybody that said a Skinwalker has murdered anybody or killed anything other than a cow or other than a sheep or other than almost like it was eating something.
Right.
And I'm thinking they never came across. If you're out there and you have something or a story, please send us the link. No porno. No porn links. You Rumble folks are really good about that. So if you can just send something, just if you know of a Skinwalker actually causing harm to a human, I'd like to know about it. I'd like to know what that story is. But so far, I haven't found anything. I found that they freak people out.
Well, yeah.
It's like Bigfoot. People freak out about Bigfoot. Oh, my God.
It's in big feet.
But I've never seen an actual story where Bigfoot killed anybody.
Yeah.
I know there are stories out there where he came to the door. One of them came to a door and shook the camper and something. But you know what? If you're used to walking one way every day for, 1,000 years or however long Big Feet have been around, and all of a sudden you bump into a camper, you're going to shake the camper and go, what the hell is this thing? I wonder what
maybe he wanted a snack. He was trying to open it.
Yeah, right? You guys got any Hostess ding-dongs in there? Come on. You got Quakey?
Frank looking for some beef jerky. So, yeah, Frank. Anyway. So it was great to finally see that have the tie-in to the local legends and folklore. Having the native tribes and these singers come out involved is really cool. I'm going to have to look them up. I forget what they were. Something Bear. I forgot the name of their group. I'll have to go back and look, but they like travel and do shows, and it seems really cool.
And the funny thing, not funny, because I think I may have done the exact same thing if I was one of these guys, because you don't know how late it is. It's hard to tell at night because it's just so dark in the desert, or at least in the way that they're filming, it looks really dark all the time. So I don't know how long they were there. So it might have just been partially them being tired or them actually being, I'm really uncomfortable with this. But when Travis and Eric and these guys were like, hey, do you want to do it some more? We understand if you don't. No, it was Dragon, I think, was like, I get it if you don't want to do this. But,
like, we are done.
You wanted the one guy was like, yeah, that was real creepy because the guy could see.
Yeah, he saw
the one guy could actually see it and the other ones could hear it. And they're like, yeah, there was something moving around.
Yeah.
And then the cold
I'm sure there was.
There's a cold spot that was really close to him up. I think the cold spot, if I was looking at that right, looked like it was on where the petroglyph was at.
It was when you saw that, because that's where Dragon went and stood, and they're like, oh my God, that's like right there. That's where that
right
is.
At it. So
and that's where they were seeing somebody. And
that was weird because usually you would think that'd be a really hot spot, but it was a colder spot, like at the house whenever they had the fluctuation in heat when the rabbi was there. So it's very interesting that the rabbi's prayer and his tenor, or maybe
he hit a frequency,
his frequency, or whether it's the actual prayer and the drums and the singing brought up two different things. Drums and singing brought up one thing, just the drums brought up something else. It's interesting that it is all religiously related. Now, is the religion based on what they saw, or is it just a happenstance that they know how to communicate on a higher level? I don't know. I'm not that smart. Opinions, please, folks. YouTube, you guys, I know you guys on YouTube have opinions. And also on Rumble, you guys, like I said, you're really good. So let us know what you think. Which one came first, the chicken or the egg, the religion or the religious songs and music? And which said, okay, they're singing my song, let me show up. That's,
or is
I know it's a strange way of putting it.
No, I got you. Or is it just hitting that frequency that causes the vibration to open the planes between dimensions? Which is what I believe is happening on that. And this to me, for me, was a very more convincing him that I already believe that the aliens are multidimensional. And of course, that's where they're going. It's the only thing that's made any sense to me.
And they're still an alien. I mean, technically,
they're still an alien.
I mean, they're not an outer space alien from Zeltar 12. On the other side of the galaxy. They could be. I mean, it might just be the wormhole bringing them here. Could be interdimensional. Could be a wormhole, literally, like they've been talking about, bringing them from the other side of a galaxy or another galaxy or another planet.
It's so many infinite possibilities.
We're never going to know. That's the thing that pisses me off. You're never going to know.
We're never going to know, but I mean, it's really neat that this is where this show is going. I just thought this was a really good episode.
Yeah, it was a really good, especially compared to what we've been watching. That was just like, oh, what now? What?
Yeah, exactly.
We're walking. We're
walking. Anyway, folks, check out Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. This week's episode definitely hit it out of the park for Dave and I. And if you like our podcast, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share. You can check us out on Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Amazon, you name it. And we're also on YouTube and Rumble and on Facebook. So check us out. And we will catch you next week with, God only knows, Travis and a flamethrower. There's your teaser.
They did mention a flamethrower. Honest to God, they mentioned a flamethrower. Let's see what happens.
We'll catch you next week, folks.